Good day, the Purge. Purgers, Purgies. I don't know what to call you. Homies. I was feeling so crappy yesterday. We traveled from Palm Bay to Clearwater, which is just from the east coast of Florida to the west coast of Florida. And my throat felt like it was closing up and my eyes were getting junky. And I'm like, body, what are you trying to tell me? It was interesting, right? Because the day before I was sharing how I was like actually feeling really good in my body, and I was embodying more of neutral, like everything, no rushing, there was a sense of calm that was really happening. And I was like, watch something happen. And then I was like, I gotta go, I gotta get this call. And sure enough, I had family call, and it's about my son and his dad, and I like left my calm zone, but I got back so much quicker than ever. And there's been this real like everything is as it should be, right? So, and then with that, my throat stuff started happening, and I was like, what is this? And I don't have any answers of what it is, other than like my cells are continuing to release, to purge. It's part of the purging. My body's purging, and something's going on with my eyes. I don't know what it is. It feels like my sight is changing. The way I see things are changing, and I could make it like a physical thing, right? Like, oh, I'm getting older, so I'm like losing whatever. My eyes are going. Somebody said that. She's like, oh, you're getting older, your eyes are going. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Or what was the other one? Oh, when you have high cortisol levels, apparently like it affects your eyesight, and because everything will get blurry. But mine is not so much the blurry, because things are not blurry at a certain distance, right? So, and I know that does happen. They say everything happens after 40, right? So, and it could be that, but I'm really assigning myself that like my vision, the way I see life is changing, the way I see things is changing, my vision is changing. So I tend to feel like gunky, like I feel like I need to remove like film from my eye all the time, which is interesting. And actually this is actually feeling really good, so maybe I'll be practicing more of that. Like whatever, all those old patternings that had me observing life from a certain lens is like, oh, okay, time to change that lens, because that doesn't actually fit anymore. So today's in school we're talking about money now, and like I feel like, all right, so I don't know if I shared this with you guys ever, but when I was a teenager and I was dating Gaston, who was my high school sweetheart, and we got into the crash, like before we got into the crash, Gaston and I would like talk about, we're kids, so like what we were going to do with our lives, like what we wanted to do, what we wanted to experience. All right, I'm going to decline this time. And one of the conversations we would have a lot is that Gaston said he would always say he was going to get me a lawsuit. This was like a regular thing that he would say to me. And at the time, I didn't know anything about manifestation or power of words or like nothing. I knew nothing. I didn't cognitively know anything about that. Clearly, it was in there, right? Like I knew stuff, but I didn't know. I didn't know that I knew. So we would always talk about that because he had gotten a big lawsuit, and that's how he bought his motorcycle, the one he died on, and the motorcycle that I was in a crash in that then provided me with a lawsuit. And he would always say to me, babe, we're going to get you a lawsuit. I'm going to get you a lawsuit. I'm going to get you a lawsuit. And you're going to be set for life. You'll never have to worry about money. I was really poor. And I worked hard. I always had a full-time job and a part-time gig, and I'd be going to school. And he sold pot and lived with his family, and like, he worked when he wanted to work, and life was just easier for him. So he would always say that to me. He was going to get me a lawsuit, and I was going to be set for life, and I wouldn't have to worry about money. And then he died, and I got a lawsuit. And I'm pretty much set for life. I don't worry about how I'm going to pay rent or how I'm going to pay my mortgage. Or if I worry about it, it's like self-induced worrying. It's not because the check isn't there every month. And, you know, I've rearranged my finances, so it's different now. But at the time when I received the lawsuit, I set up an annuity where I would receive a check on the first of every month for the rest of my life until I die. Life contingent benefits, right? So as long as I live within my means, which I don't, I'm clear on that. I'm good. Like, I'm okay. And in class, we're talking about money guilt. Yesterday was money guilt, and today is money shame. And I've always, well, clearly there's emotion behind that. Like, first of all, just the gratitude that he loved me the way he loved me, and that he wanted to take care of me for life in his own way, right? Like, he's like, we're gonna get you money and you're gonna be set for life, right? Like, the gratitude for that. And then the guilt that I've been carrying around, that I carry around because of how I got this money, right? Like, it was a major loss. I didn't even know all this was still living inside me to this intensity. So I'm glad I'm purging it out. I'm glad I'm talking about it. And there's not a lot of places where I talk about it because I feel like it was 22 years ago. People are tired of seeing me cry about it. People are tired of hearing my story about it. I'm tired of it. You know, like, how long am I going to feel bad for? How long am I going to... I loved him so much. I was just a kid, you know? And I have this guilt. And I know his parents, because I got more out of the lawsuit than they did, because apparently my life was worth more because I was still alive, and his life was worth less because he died. And they didn't even get like a third of what I got in the lawsuit. And then I reinvested all my money into an annuity, which made it double. and I didn't know how to manage money. I was literally a super poor girl that was handed a shit ton of money, and I was scared, so I just put it in an annuity policy so that, first of all, so that my family couldn't run through it, because now I was the wealthiest person in my family, and the responsibility that came along with that, and then the guilt of that, of being the one that had the money while I'm watching them all struggle and try to figure out how they're gonna feed themselves, how they're gonna pay their rent. So I've given so much money to my family. Like, my dad, actually, I gave him a lot of money, and he moved to Ecuador and bought a car with the money that I gave him, and got shot in his leg because somebody was trying to rob him for the car, and he refused to give the car up, so they shot him in his leg. You know, like, the first bulk of money that I gave my brother ended up locked up for quite some time. It just wasn't. It's just money's been like a icky thing. Like as as easy as it's been to like not have to worry about how I'm gonna take care of myself, it's caused all these other weird dynamics. And it's taken years of like shedding layers, right? Of shedding layers. And here I am on this like next level where I'm like, all right, what else can I create here? What else can I do? It's like, and I feel greedy for wanting more. And I feel bad for wanting more. And the more that I want is because I want to be able to take care of everyone. I want to be able to be like, oh, homies, you guys, let's go on a cruise. Y'all don't got it. It's okay. Come on. I'll pay for it. Like, no biggie. I got this. You know, like just have a little spending money for yourself for whatever you want to buy. Or with my family where I could buy another house and be like, we don't have to all be on top of each other. Like, y'all could live here. It's okay. We're good. Or start like a community for kids that age out of the foster system, or make arm slings so that other people that have the disability I have don't have to wear these ugly ass slings all their lives. Or the herbal palsy kids, they don't have to wear ugly slings. Like, they could still look cute when they're gonna go out. Like, the more that I want is to create more out there. Yet there's this like ick of like, I'm just being greedy. Why can't I just be happy with what I have? And then it's weird. It's like, I feel bad about having more than my family, but I feel bad for not having as much as the people in the world that have a lot of money and that can like go on a yacht and or just like travel first class. And then I tell myself like, I don't really need those things. And I've been saying that for so long, which I feel like keeps me like at this level. And part of the work that we're doing right now is busting through that. And it's like, no, I want to be able to get on a yacht. Like, why not? I want to be able to buy myself the things that I want to buy myself. Like, I always have just enough to cover my bills and what the kids need, but I don't really have enough for me, like for the things I want to do. Like, I want to go to the salt cave, I want to go to the sauna, I want to get a facial, I want like all those extra things. There's not enough for that. Now, let me tell you, I spent my 20s before these babies doing whatever the fuck I wanted with my money, and like, it was a glorious time for me. It really was. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I bought what I wanted, I went where I wanted, and it was a beautiful experience. And then since having my kids and being the breadwinner of my family and having to make different choices because I chose to feel guilty about what I have and take care of other people, and it's depleted me. And with that, I've still learned how to flip the bag every year. Every year I find a way to flip the bag, which means to make more money. And today I got up early to go to the appointments, and I was like stuck in a little traffic, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. Like, I don't want to be the person that has to wake up at a certain time to get to a place at a certain time to then get paid for my hours. Like, there has to be another way for me. And then I felt bad about that. Like, who do I think I am? I think I'm better than that. And it's like, then I want to go into defending myself. So these are like all the guilt and shame things that I carry around concerning money that keep me locked in. And I'm sure there's more, right? Like, this is just what's coming up right now, because there will be another layer to this. But with that, like, I'm ready to shed a lot of that. And I'll probably have to continuously practice shedding that. Like, it's not going to be like a one-time thing, like, oh, I shed that. No, I don't feel bad about that. No, I probably will always, when I'm like, yes, come on, family, let's go to do this cruise. And then some other family member that I didn't pay for to come is like, oh, well, you know, I had to do this and this. I'll probably feel shitty. And it'll be something that I have to like cognitively, like, they're having their journey, I'm having mine. And where we can all make choices to create more. And there's something also in there about like it's not it's more spiritual or noble to be poor and like to grind it out and like rely on God to feed me, right? Because that's the energy that my mom lives in, is constant like God will provide, and whatever God provides, that's good enough. There's no like ambition for more. That's devilish. Like money's the devil. And I'm like, money's just money. Like I like money. Like I say hello to my money every morning. I didn't get to do it today because I was running out the house because I was running late because I had to be somewhere on time. But like when I have my own mornings the way I want, I say good morning to my money. I thank my money. I'm like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for appreciating, because I appreciate you. You know, and I send it out into the world. Go money, go, because money attracts money, right? So go get money. And like the whole mindset of like, oh, this little thing is good enough. Of course, yes. I'm so grateful and appreciative of this. And I want this. And when I get there, I'll probably be like, oh, this is so good. And I want this. Because the more, it's always just more. And it becomes playful to be like, oh, well, what else can I create? Well, what else could happen? And last year I took the year off trying to figure out how to flip the bag. So I did not flip the bag last year. I made some adjustments to, like, I sold annuity payments, I reinvested, I diversified, and it was a big, scary step for me to be more in charge of my money, as opposed to just receiving a check every month that the insurance sends me. I've lost more money than I'm comfortable saying. I've lost. I didn't lose shit, right? But I've lost it because I really got that it was a practice in detaching emotionally from what the loss of money means. Like, money's a currency, right? It's never quite lost. It's flowing, and it's not meant to just be held and stacked. It's meant to flow, which doesn't mean that you can't have like a savings or a cushion, right? Like it's like the divine paradox, and it's hard to talk sometimes because there's always a divine paradox, right? Because nothing is set in stone, nothing is idle. Like everything is moving. So yes, stack your dough up, right? And don't hold on to it, right? And stack your dough and don't hold on to it. So it's like playing in that line, and that's discernment for each person, right? Like how much you want to stack and how much you want to flow and what works for you. And it might work this moment, but then next year, that moment, that same shit don't work no more. And it's it's a self check-in. But yeah, Kim, thanks for being here and listening and holding space. It was really comforting to know that like you were there holding the energy there while I was like, so I'm really grateful for that, and I'm grateful for you. So special shout out to Kim for always holding me down. That's it. I gotta get going to my next appointments. I read this meme the other day that was like, healing, don't be surprised that healing has like all these random bouts of tears. And I tell you, I cry like all the time. All like randomly, I'll just be walking and I'll get a visual in my head of something I saw in a movie, and the tears will come. Certain melodies and certain songs, the tears come. Just thinking about certain people in my life, the tears come. Like the tears are just flowing. So, all right. Love you guys. Bye.